Greetings to St. Petersburg. Now we invite the next speaker.
Национальный лектор индийской секции, президент Федерации штата Утtar-Pradesh.
We invite Mr. Pandey, International Speaker of the Theosophical Society, National Lecturer of the Indian Section, President of the Uttar Pradesh and Uttahkaranda Federation, India. Mr. Pandey graduated from the Faculty of Engineering, academic qualification, Bachelor of Engineering, Roorkee University, India. He has given talks on theosophical topics: Australia, Singapore, Pakistan, Indonesia, the USA, Brazil, Sri Lanka, as well as during international seminars. Mr. Pandey is a life member of Theosophical Society and its international spheres. So, Mr. Pandey, we are welcome to speak about Cosmogenesis, Anthropogenesis, Theogenesis, and the united evolution of consciousness. Yes, please.
Okay. So, first of all, I thank Sister Igneva and all the participants, organizers, on this occasion of this 4th International Congress, and I extend my warm and hearty greetings. Coming to the subject, the cosmogenesis, anthropogenesis, theogenesis, a single evolution of the consciousness. The first of the three fundamental propositions which the secret doctrine establishes says an omnipresent, eternal, boundless, and immutable principle on which all speculation is impossible, since it transcends the power of human conception and could only be dwarfed by a human expression and similitude. And in Hindu philosophy, it is called Parabrahman. This one absolute reality antecedes all manifested conditioned being. This infinite and eternal cause is the rootless root of all that was, is, or ever shall be. It is devoid of all attributes and is essentially without any relation to manifested finite being. It is no thing, no being, but beingness, and is beyond all thought or speculation of human mind. This beingness is symbolized under two aspects: absolute abstract space, representing bare subjectivity, and absolute abstract motion, representing unconditioned consciousness. This latter aspect of the one reality is also symbolized by the form, by the term great breath. Thus, the first fundamental axiom of the secret doctrine is the metaphysical one absolute beingness, symbolized by finite intelligence as the theological trinity. Parabrahman, the one reality, the absolute, is the field of absolute consciousness. Once we pass from this absolute negation, duality supervenes in the contrast of spirit or consciousness and matter, subject and object. These two are not independent realities, but two facets or aspects of the absolute. These two are not independent, only aspects or the facets of the absolute, which constitute the basis and origin of conditioned being, whether subjective or objective. The great breath assumes the character of pre-cosmic ideation which is the origin of all individual consciousness and supplies the guiding intelligence in the vast scheme of cosmic evolution. On the other hand, pre-cosmic root substance, which is called also Mula Prakriti, underlies all the objective planes of nature and is the substratum of matter in various grades of differentiation. The manifested universe, therefore, is pervaded by duality, which is the very essence of its existence or manifestation. Fourth is the dynamic energy of cosmic ideation by which the ideas existing in the divine thought are impressed on cosmic substance as the laws of nature. It is the intelligent medium, the guiding power of all manifestation, transmitted and made manifest through the Dhyani-Chauhans, the architects of the visible world. Thus, from spirit or cosmic ideation comes consciousness, from cosmic substance, the several vehicles in which that consciousness is individualized and attained to self or reflective consciousness. While fourth is the mysterious link between mind and matter, the animating principle electrifying every atom into life. It is one life, eternal, invisible, yet omnipresent, without beginning or end, yet periodical in its regular manifestation, between which periods reigns the dark mystery of non-being, unconscious, yet absolute consciousness, unrealizable at the one self-existing reality, truly a chaos to the sense, a cosmos to the reason. There is but one indivisible and absolute omniscience and intelligence in the universe, and this thrills throughout every atom, an infinitesimal point of whole finite cosmos, which has no bounds and which people call space, considered independent of anything contained in it. What is called unconscious nature is in reality an aggregate of forces manipulated by semi-intelligent beings called elementals, guided by high planetary spirits called Dhyani-Chauhans, whose collective aggregate forms the manifested verbum of unmanifested logos and constitute at one and the same time the mind of the universe or universal mind and its immutable law. Everything in the universe, throughout all its kingdom, is conscious, that is endowed with a consciousness of its own kind, its own plane of perception. There is no such thing as dead or blind matter, and there is no blind or unconscious law. At the commencement of the great Manvantara, that is manifestation cycle, the Parabrahman manifests as Mula Prakriti, that is root matter, and then as Logos. The Logos is equivalent to the unconscious universal mind, etc., of the Western pantheist. It constituted the basis of the subject side of manifested being and is the source of all manifestation of individual consciousness. Mula Prakriti, or primordial cosmic substance, is the foundation of the object side of things, the basis of collective evolution and cosmogenesis. Force then does not emerge with primordial substance from Parabrahman latency. It is transformation into energy of the supraconscious thought of the Logos, infused, so to speak, into the objectivation of the latter out of the potential latency of the one reality. Thus, apart from absolute consciousness, which Blavatsky considers as unconsciousness, consciousness implies limitations and qualifications. It needs an object to be conscious of and an entity to be conscious of the object. Prior to the manifestation of the cosmos, the primordial state of consciousness is called Chidakasa. Consciousness in Akasha, or primordial space, its emergence is in 7 degrees. The first is coeval with the first and second unmanifested logoi. At this stage, it is still latent. Then, when manifestation or differentiation occurs, the latent consciousness becomes Mahat, or cosmic mind, or cosmic ideation. What follows are the manifestations of the consciousness in the lower planes of nature. In human beings, we know there are 7 states of consciousness corresponding to the different principles from physical body to the spirit Atma. Now this Parabrahman, which exists before all things in the cosmos, is the one essence from which starts into existence a center of energy, which we may call the Logos. This Logos is called Ishvara, Pargyatma, Shabda Brahman, Word. It is called the Verbum, or the Word, by the Christians. And it is the divine Christos, which is eternally in the bosom of his Father. It is called Avalokiteshvara by Buddhists. It is not different in substance as it were, or in essence from Parabrahman, and yet it is different from it, having an independent, individualized existence. In the latent condition, in the bosom of the Parabrahman, at the time of the pralaya or dissolution, just like as the sense of ego of man is latent at the time of his deep sleep, Parabrahman radiates from the Logos and manifests itself as the light and energy of the Logos. The first manifestation of Parabrahman is Trinity, the highest Trinity that we can capable of understanding it. It consists of Mula Prakriti, then Logos, and the conscious energy of the Logos, which is the power and light. And here we have the 3 principles upon which the whole cosmos seems to be based and built. We may also see that the secret doctrine thus puts forward 3 fundamentals in terms of life, existence, which is through changes and mobility, as well as through stability and inertia. Beingness, becoming, being. Such is the first primal, the parent trinity, the source of all trinities of consciousness substance, the trinity of principles, the one principle. Beingness always is, becoming always is, being always is. All 3 are, in fact, is one. These 3, beingness, becoming, being, are one. Human intellect perceives them, examines them, understands them for the sole purpose of realizing that they are one. This one, in its threefold aspect, is the foundation and basis of life, unfoldment, realization. Life is, unfoldment is progressive, realization is attained. In nameless that or Parabrahman, universes of duality arise, evolve, dissolve, and disappear in regular cycles of manifestation and non-manifestation, like the ebb and flow of the tide in ocean, according to the karmic and cyclic law inherent in it, deity and law being one. This manifested deity, though appearing as many in its dual manifestation of spirit and matter, or subject and object, is in reality one and indivisible, the manifested symbol of the absolute one. According to the esoteric philosophy, it is this ubiquitous, universal one life, consciousness, and intelligence, one in three and three in one, permeating all, is present as latent potentiality in every atom of the universe. The whole universe, whole universal evolution is nothing but the tendency in the one life to develop self-conscious realization of itself by and through forms, evolved by itself in cycle of ascending progression from the elementals, mineral, vegetable, animal forms, culminating in man as the crown of physical evolution and individualization of that one life as manas or ego, the thinker, the real man, the former constituting the vehicle or upadhi for the latter, with which, if he succeeds in permanently linking himself, becomes one with it, he becomes a god or god. The occult philosophy never uses the term creation, nor even the evolution, with regard to primary creation, but calls all such forces the aspect of the causalist force. The whole cosmos is guided, controlled, and animated by almost endless series of hierarchies of sentient beings, each having a mission to perform, and who, whether we call them Dhyani Chauhans, angels, devas, or messengers, in the sense only that they are the agents of the karmic and cosmic laws. They are finite in all aspects, with the exception of their higher principles, the immortal sparks reflecting the universal divine flame, individualized and separated only as illusion. They are living ones and are the streams projected on the cosmos screen of the illusion from the absolute life. The gods and Dhyani Chauhans proceed from the first cause, which is not Parabrahman, for the latter is all cause, and cannot be referred to as the first cause, which is called in Brahmanical books the Jagati Yoni, the womb of the world. Mankind emanates from these active agents in cosmos. Brahma, God, Ishvara or Purusha is the manifested deity, hence created or limited and conditioned. Man being a compound of the essence of all those celestial hierarchies may succeed in making himself superior in one sense to any hierarchy or class or even combination of them. By eating the fruit of knowledge, which dispels ignorance, the man becomes like one of the Elohim or Dhyanis. And once on their plane, the spirit of the solidarity and perfect harmony, which reigns in every hierarchy, must extend over him in every particular. The gods of the ancients, the monads from Pythagorean down to Leibniz, and the atoms of the present materialistic science schools are only a compound unit or a graduated unity like human frame, which begins with body and ends with the spirit. In the occult science, they can be studied separately, but never mastered unless viewed in their mutual correlation. During their life cycle and as a universal unity during pralayas. The souls appear in threefold form of monads, that is units, atoms and gods. God, monad, and atom are correspondence of spirit, mind, and body, Atman, Manas, and solid body, Sthul Sarira, in man. In their septenary aggregation, they are the heavenly man, thus terrestrial man is the provisional reflection of the heavenly. The monads, that is the jivas, are the souls of the atom. Both are the fabric in which the Chauhans, Dhyani gods, clothe themselves when form is needed. The evolution is formulated as an invariable law, a descent of spirit into matter, equivalent to an ascent in physical evolution, a reascent from the depth of the materiality towards a status quo ante with a corresponding dissipation of concrete forms and substance up to the laya state, or what science calls the 0 point and beyond. The spirit matter or matter spirit extend infinitely in depth, and our sense of the things real is at the 7th depth, while the unreal and the gross matter of science and the external world is at the lowest end of our perceptive senses. The reality is manifested world is composed of a unity of units. The monads or jivas are the expression of the universe, and every physical point is but the phenomenal expression of the nominal metaphysical point. To conclude, this cosmos with 7 planes of nature filled with innumerable atoms, man with his 7 principles, and angels of innumerable hierarchy are outcome of a single evolution of one consciousness, one life, through various grades of differentiation matter, of principles, substance, both the one consciousness and the primordial substance being essentially one in 2 aspects of the absolute, the one reality. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pandey. A very interesting report. Absolutely classical way of point of view. A great thanks to you for thus classical speaking. We hope that you will be present at the round table and scientific symposium when we will speak about the secret doctrine, the first stanza, 3rd shloka.